Native Community Capital is your trusted partner for home loans or financing your business. Visit us at nativecap.org or call us at 855-628-2272. Let's work together to rebuild tribal economies.
Terraform Development is a Navajo and Hopi-owned engineering, architectural, and project management firm located in northern Arizona. The company has full-time staff and comprises of Navajo and Hopi employees. Terraform services include civil engineering, residential design, drone mapping, and project management on projects for your need. Terraform is a Priority 1 Navajo certified business and Hopi business license certified. Contact Terraform Development at TERRA4ORM.com and follow them on Instagram at Terraform Development.
You are now listening to the Carl and J-Man Save the World podcast. I am your host, the 5-star, 5-diamond chef, J-Man. And with me, also known as Carlton, also known as Larry Jr., Carl.
Larry Jr.? Who's Larry Jr.? You know, there was a basketball player, Larry Bird, right?
If you recall from previous episodes that you have an older sibling named Larry. And so I just thought, you know, since you kind of sound like Larry.
Larry Bird.
A lot of the community members, you probably don't know either that or you plug your ears so you don't hear them call you Larry Jr. So
no, it's Larry Bird was one of my favorite basketball players of all time.
Because
go Celtics.
Because your glossy is as white as the great Larry Bird's skin.
Probably. You know, what a great week it has been. I mean, it's very, very tiring. For some reason, like our jobs are, you know, kind of take a lot out of us. And when we do the podcast, we kind of have this like demoralized kind of attitude. But then when we get back to it, then it just jumps right back up.
Just
because
a couple of tribal workers
getting
thrown through the meat grinder.
It's so crazy.
When we get to this portion of our lives.
So kids, if you're listening to this,
we're not the most positive guys sometimes.
Kids, if you're listening to this, don't work for the tribe, okay? Go work for something else.
Oh, and you know, today's a special day. This is also a very special episode because it is Carl Appreciation Day. Today we are celebrating my co-host, Carl, because if you couldn't tell from our last episode, I was a little agitated with him and kind of, you know, probably made his life a little bit more stressed out than it needed to be. So I'm here to express my appreciation to my co-host and declaring it Carl Appreciation Day.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. You know, one thing that goes along with like mental health and without physical health is that nobody appreciates anybody anymore.
No.
It's crazy because
especially out here,
a lot of Hopis, we just don't appreciate each other. We just don't take the time to just say thank you once in a while. Mm-hmm. And when somebody says thank you, then we kind of have this notion of like, what do you want afterwards? Like, like what are you getting at? Or like, you know,
thank you, but the answer is no.
Yeah. Like, no, I'm not going to do that for you. And so it's like, for me in a way, it's like, cause I never get thanked. Nobody really thanks me in a way. Of course, there are some people that kind of do thank me, but it's like my soul, my kwa, like my closest relatives and stuff. But like just random people, like just coming up to you and say like, you know, thank you. And then you're like, I don't know how to take it. You know, like, I don't know how to respond to that.
That guy is a fucking weirdo. He's always going around thanking everybody. I don't know what he's trying to get at.
So, I mean, it does feel good for somebody to say thank you in a way, like for all that you do.
Uh-huh.
But then you but we're natives. We're natives, so we just don't understand how to take like a compliment.
And you know, just for the listeners, you know, in our last episode that Carl and I did, you know, have some heated conversations that Carl chose to edit out, and so maybe those will see the light of day someday if we do some sort of extra footage or extra audio for the people out there.
Actually, I want to save some of those audio clippings like that for our paid subscribers. So if you are on Anchor and you are paying for our subscription and you want to hear the raw audio between us, we'll set up something for you so you can hear the non-edited version. I mean, it's just raw and
raw footage, and so you're going to question whether Carl and I even like each other.
Yeah, pretty much. And like we do have recordings that we record before we record. So
if you jumped off of that list, might be a good time to jump back on that list. But, speaking of gratitude, speaking of thank yous, sharing appreciations, I would like to share an appreciation to our 30-pack circle of givers. And so I'd like to give individual shout outs to Alexis Cahy, to Terry Hanani, Troy Lamovaya, and we got a new monthly donor. And so big thank you, big kwakwa to Marie Nachi, Deidre Leslie, Shane, Kobe Dempsey, Aaron McEmrys, Shane, Dalaya Mtiwa, Donovan Goldtooth, Dion Sania, and Miller Kawanyama, and Gary Lamayeswa.
All right. Well, thank you everybody out there who has donated to us and keeps donating to us, because without your patronage and without your pocket change, we're doing this for you guys. And I really thank you guys.
Well, the reason why I brought up the whole Carl appreciation episode was because, you were pretty upset with me and you were kind of not responding to my messages there for a while. And I started to think, oh my God, are we really going to separate? Is this going to be a return back to, I don't remember what you called your solo podcast, but a revitalization of the 5-Star 5 Diamond podcast. And I started thinking in my head, like, my podcast is going to be very educational. And so that means I'll probably have half of the listeners that we have now. And, I'm not going to have some funny sidekick there. So I better share with the world of how much I appreciate Carl, that although, that there are times where, I do want to punch him into space, but, you do provide something to our podcast that a lot of other podcasts don't have. And I think that it helps to cut into a lot of my dense conversation when I want to get too intellectual. So thank you, Carl. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. I mean, I really appreciate you doing that for me.
Oh, no problem.
So along with that, we are doing the CJ Podcast CARES Act. And with that, we did say on the last episode that we do want to appreciate a lot of this stuff. And so one of the things that we are involved with is Koho for Hopi.
Koho for Hopi.
And so Koho for Hopi is run by Matt Honani, and he brings out Koho from the Forestry Service, or he's in ties with them, and he brings
from the
it
woods.
out. Yeah, he's from the woods. So if you guys are very, very generous for getting wood, if you're a Hopi on the Hopi Reservation and got wood from the Koho for Hopi program, go ahead and thank him, or go ahead and donate to him.
Go to GoFundMe and go into the search bar and search Koho for Hopi. That's KOHO, the number 4 HOPI. And then, even just a little bit will help them go a long way, because I think for anybody that's ever gone komokto, or anybody that's ever gone to gather wood, know that it costs money, because you have to have gas for the vehicle that you're taking, which is usually a truck, which is going to cost upward of $100 round trip just to do that. Then, of course, the chainsaws, and then all of the effort in going to do that. And so for this program to be able to bring out the wood out here on the reservation makes it a whole lot easier for a lot of our elders. So
yeah, exactly. Because I calculated how much it does go to get wood versus just buying it. Pretty much the same price. Yeah. And I do support a lot of local families that do sell wood just so they can get some funds. And so I do go buying wood from them. And it's just from local sources. So,
And then the nice thing about the Koho for Hopi, it's free. It's a free service for.
Oh yeah, it is. It is a free service. So go ahead and follow them on Facebook. Go ahead and give your pocket change to them, because a little goes a long way.
And we all know you got money out there because the tribe just cut those checks. So.
use your what is that was they call the hardship check,
the ARP funds or something like
the
that.
hardship check.
Hardship checks.
What do we call our checks? Like the go here and have fun kind of checks, or what?
The casino money.
The casino money is like we don't have a casino, but here's some money.
This 1500's earmarked for the casino, so that's where we're going. But instead of making that casino trip, consider donating some to Koho for Hopi.
Yeah, exactly. And go ahead and follow them.
And so in the theme of today being Carl Appreciation Day, I'd like to do my best Carl impression, if that's okay with you.
Okay,
I'd
go
like
ahead.
to introduce the topic. And so for today's topic is something that's not talked about a whole lot on the Hopi Reservation. We're going to be talking about clans.
Clans. There's a lot of speculation about different clans. How many clans are there on the Hopi Reservation?
Well, to be clear, and for those that might not know a whole lot about our culture, we're not talking about like the Wu-Tang Clan or we're not talking about the Ku Klux Klan, thank God, or your personal favorite, the Foot Clan.
the Foot Clan. That's my clan. That's my Wuya. the Foot Clan.
The Shredder is here, would ya? And so, actually, I guess, to give some context, that I think since we started the podcast, that we have gotten several requests to talk about clans, and possibly from folks that are wanting to learn more about Hopi clans.
Oh, yeah.
Or learning about what roles clans play in our communities today. And when I first saw some of those requests, I would think, I was like, clans? I don't think we'd be able to talk about clans for like a whole episode's worth or a whole hour. And then I sat down and I really got to thinking about it, and all these different ideas of how we could talk about clans kind of started rushing into my head, because as a Hopi kid growing up on the reservation, that's like one of the very first things you learn about as far as Hopi life goes.
Is your clanship.
Is this concept of clans.
Yeah.
Because Hopi, we all belong to a clan. All of our clans have a name. Historically, all of our clans have a history.
As a beginning.
As a beginning. We all have a purpose. At least, how Hopi communities were situated in the olden days. And then we also all have this concept of a wuya, which is something we've talked about, which is kind of, I guess the best comparisons is like a spiritual mascot into which we all kind of put our prayers towards. And I remember growing up as a kid, that especially going to a Hopi school early on, is that, we knew that we all had different clans, or we understood that we were related to people that had the same clan as ours, even if we weren't blood related.
Yeah.
And that there were also relations to your father's clan, and that they also had a special role to play. And, at some point in the podcast, we did share what our clans were.
Yeah.
That J-Man, I am a member, I guess, of the Biikesnyam. And so I have my membership card in my pocket, and so I am a member of I guess the Corn Clan.
Yeah. Part of the Corn Clan.
Not really Corn Clan, but like the people on social media like to say, if you know, you know.
Yeah, like the Water Clan, Corn Clan. Yeah, all those different clans. And, Yaf Boys, they're probably going to listen to this too, is that Hirsch was asking like what my clan was. And I think in one of the episodes, they asked this one girl, the little science teacher, I don't know, she's on Instagram. And like she's, like her father is Snake Clan.
Oh, really?
And then so they got like, oh my God, nobody wants to go with the Snake Clan girl, nobody wants to do that. And so my clan is Coyote Clan. So a lot of the Navajos out there will probably be throwing rocks at me or something like that, and
trying to shoo you
trying
away.
to shoo me away
Because you represent bad luck.
Yeah, represent the what do they call it? The Yanagosh or whatever.
Yanagloshis. Is that what that represents?
I think so. I don't know. The Yannies.
The Yannies. But I guess, you did ask that question, like, how many clans are there in Hopi? And, that's something that I really don't know, because in today's society that we do understand that there are some clans that have gone extinct, that there are clans that we knew about that were a part of the Hopi villages but no longer exist. And then also something that I've realized is that depending on which village you're from, that some villages have an abundance of certain clans and might lack membership of a particular type of clan, because way out in Munkapi, that I would say that Biikesnyam and Isnyam, our two clans, are probably the two largest clans out at Munkapi. And then other clans that are out there are, you have the Sun Clan, you have the Masao Clan, you have the Bakapnyam. They call themselves Bamboo today, but I think that maybe it really means reed, because I always think, well, bamboo is what grows out in China.
Yeah.
And so you have them, and then you have Bitnyam, which is Tobacco Clan. You have some people that are Kachina Clan, although not a whole lot. But then there are some important clans that aren't present. Like we don't have any bear clan at all whatsoever in Munkapi.
Yeah.
Or there are some other types of clans out here that I've learned about in the bigger part of the reservation, I suppose, that we don't have in Munkapi. And then so we talked about our father's clan. My father's clan is Zuwungwa, which is Snake Clan.
Yeah.
And then so therefore all of the Snake Clan women, men are also my relatives. And so I guess that little science teacher that you mentioned from the Yop Boys would also be a sweetheart of mine, I guess, in a way. And so growing up as a boy, those are kind of the two principal clans that you kind of grow up learning about is your mother's clan and your father's clan. And then based on those two clans, that's kind of how you navigate throughout Hopi society. Because I did mention in a previous episode, especially for us Munkap Hopis, is that, you know, we're so close to the Navajos that in Navajo culture, they have 4 clans.
Yeah.
And 4 clans to navigate. But with Hopi, it's just the mother and the father's clan.
Mainly the mother's clan.
That is kind of shown of an importance. And I guess, you know, one of the big things too about clanships that you learn very early on, and you've mentioned this before about the role that our uncles play, at least as far as males go, being young males growing up in Hopi society, the importance of having matrilineal uncles.
Yeah.
Because what I've heard before is that your uncles on your mother's side are supposed to be closer to you than your own father, because those uncles teach you about your clan, because they are the same clan as you, and they share information about your clan. Because I guess, you know, outside of just having this label of being Corn Clan or being Coyote Clan, that in the olden days, that really meant something.
Oh, yeah.
That it really shaped your identity. It really shaped what your role was supposed to be in Hopi society.
You know, all my tahas out there are either they don't know anything and I have to teach them stuff, or they're all drunks. So pretty much all my Coyote tahas out there. So you know who you are. But like what J-Man was saying is that, yeah, we are a matrilineal society. So just having one clan is like your only clan to kind of solidify your way into Hopi. And you have your father's clan, which is part of your auntie side, and you know, you get your Gya'as, which is you know, your sweethearts and stuff. So like with J-Man, his Gya'as are Snake Clan, and my Gya'as are the same thing. So we're pretty much like brothers, I guess you could say, in a way, even though we don't have the same clanship, but our fathers are the same clan. Mm-hmm, so we kind of have that
same fathers.
Yeah, strange relation kind of is.
Which I guess isn't all that uncommon out here on the reservation.
Yeah, it's so weird because like what So says, you know, we're all related in some way, one or another. And it's true. It's true. It's so true. Like, you know, you have one clan that is totally different, but then has like their Kwa has the same clan as your dad's clan or your mother's clan, and you know, down the line, then you pick that up and you're like, oh my God, you know, like, it's weird. It's so weird.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess outside of the clans that I just mentioned, you know, a lot of the various other clans that do exist out here, you have, like I mentioned before, the Bear Clan.
Yeah.
You have this clan called the Bear Strap Clan. And I believe that there's a Bluebird Clan.
Yeah, Joshiam, yeah.
And then also, too, one of the things that I didn't know is that, I guess, you know, talking about clans, it's such an intricate thing to talk about. It's such, like, there's so much layers that are involved as far as clans go, because before we started recording, you and I had this deep conversation about clans, trying to get ready for the episode, and that, you know, even though you might belong to a particular clan, Corn Clan, for example, that each clan also has other clans like that they're related to.
Yeah, sub-clans.
And so as far as I know, that we're also related to Butgingyam, which is a water clan. And I think that there's also too a Clout clan that exists out there as well, which is another clan that we're associated with. And so if I were to come across other folks that are of the water clan or of the Clout clan,
Fog
we
clan,
would share that same relationship, brother, sister, mother, grandmother, uncle, grandfather relationship with those same clans. And so, you know, as far as, you know, like the Snake Clan goes to, you know, you have the Snake Clan, And in relation to that, you have the Sand Clan. And then you also have the Lizard Clan.
Yeah.
And then so I would share relationships
So on and so forth,
with the Sand and Lizard Clan. But I didn't know either that there's a clan out in Sapalavi, the Pumpkin Clan, that also has an affiliation with the Snake Clan, from what I understand. And so they're also my relatives. And so big shout out to my pumpkin Gas and fathers out there. I'm not too sure if they're outside of just Sapalavi, but I know that a lot of them are from Sapalavi. And so, you learn things as you get older, because then, we're both kind of young guys. And so the information that we know or understand, that there's probably so much more about this topic of clans, how they came to be, their purpose and their roles. Because then, as a kid, right, what are some of the lessons that you've learned about as far as clans go growing up from when you were a wee little boy?
So like,
in your
when
Power Ranger PJs.
So when I was like, a mushhead kid, just growing up, we had what is called this clan race. And like in our schools, we had this clan race, and where we represent our clans, and then we want to honor somebody else's clan, or like your paternal clan or your maternal clan or somebody else in that lineage there, and you want to race for them in that way, or just race for your clan. And the clan race, just kind of teaches you who is who, pretty much, and who are you related to. And, in all of the schools around here, especially on the Hopi Reservation, they do participate in that. But since lately now, there has never been a participation for about 2-3 years now, because of what we're going through.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the clanships that I've learned throughout, like the clan runs and stuff like that, I learned like who my other souls were. I learned who my other fathers were. Like, all of these different things that as a young child, you want to experience all of that, because you want to know who your extended family is.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because, I always think about because my village, outside of just the school, my village has a clan run.
Yeah.
Or we used to have clan runs before this 2-year stretch that we're in. But I remember participating in this clan run that my village would have as early as I can remember. And I remember thinking that when I was younger, I used to think I'm kind of part of a lame clan, because as you mentioned before, that we all got dressed up to represent our clan. There was a certain way that you would dress up to represent your clan. And I remember thinking oh man, because the Coyote boys, they get to wear the coyote tail on top of their head.
Yeah.
They paint their face yellow. They paint their nose black to look like a coyote nose. They look pretty cool. Or the Badger Clan kids, they would have the silakva that stuck straight up to represent the ears, and they'd have a white stripe painted all the way down to their face. And I said, that's pretty cool too. And then the Snake Clan people, a lot of the boys would wear the tzuvikana. They'd have the snake kilt. Their faces either painted black or red with the sita on there. And then so you had these cool animal clans, badger, coyote, and then you'd have the snake clan. But us corn boys, we just have this hat that's in the shape of a cloud on top of our heads. It's we're not threatening at all. We're the ones that are going to be eaten by the rest of these clans.
You didn't wear a tassel that just hangs down.
and so that was kind of that's the kind of the way that I looked at it as a young boy. Because then, when you think about I guess sports teams, right? You think about some of these sports teams that have these really cool mascots, like I don't know. I always think that NHL hockey always has kind of the more menacing mascots, the Devil Rays or whatever else it is that they have for football, the Bears or the Sharks or whatever. And then I always kind of thought of clans in that similar manner, that our clans were kind of almost our mascots or our logos. And then so some people got to dress up really cool during the clan run, but then us corn boys, we would have not so menacing type of wear. But then it wasn't until I got older and I really learned about my clan, and I really learned about the purpose of our clan, and I really learned a little bit more about the history of our clan and what our involvement was in some of the bigger villages out here, is when I really got to appreciate what our clan represent it, because then, like, you know, like we said before, that there's so much more to a clan aside from just what the name is.
You know, a lot of the clanship out here, now that we put them on our cars now, you know, we have like these little symbols of like our different clans, and we paste them on our cars, or we paste them on like our Facebook identity. And it's so strange because now you know who is the Coyote clan, or who is the Corn clan, or who is Badger clan. And we now know because through social media has made it so. And if you drive around here on the Hopi reservation, there's cars and trucks have logos of their clan.
Cars and trucks have clans now too.
Yeah.
But I guess to go back to the clan run, because then, you know, I think that, you know, our races out here on Hopi are so unique in comparison to the rest of the world of what we think a long distance race might be, because especially in particular to the clan run, I think what makes that different is that it's not just a race to where people try to see who's the fastest.
Yeah.
That I guess the X factor in these clan runs is something, I believe that it's called a gongya, which is the little stone. It's a cube, but it's a stone. Or sometimes I've seen some that are made out of wood, and basically what the objective is to kick this stone during the full duration of the race. And so with the clan runs that we used to have in our village, that they weren't individual races at all, but rather they were team races, and that you ran with your brothers and your uncles representing your clan, trying to get this stone across the finish line ahead of the rest of the teams. And so that was something that I always thought that kind of made that a little bit different, because not only on top of having to be a good distance runner, that also in a way you almost had to be a good soccer player too, because then your footwork also had to be able to get this stone across. And I think that as far as the clan race goes, and one thing that I really remember being a kid is that there was pride in that, because then a lot of the clans would tout that we're the fastest clan because we always win this race every year. And I remember growing up as a kid that it was the Badger clan, at least on the male side, that were the dominant clan most of the year. But during my Hongvi Aimut days, that I was actually able to help my clan win the race one year. And that's something that a memory that I look really fond upon, because then it's not just a race to where it's like, oh, this race happened, cool. But when the race would actually happen, people would really ask, oh, who won? Who won? Which clan won? And, you know, it was something of interest to see which clan won. And I remember the one year that my clan won, it was a pretty big deal for me, because then it's not something that we got to celebrate
sort of like
single year.
Bragging rights to the whole thing.
Rights, bragging
you
rights.
get that bragging rights.
And as much crap as I give my sisters on the women's side, because we would have two races. There'd be a male race on one day of the weekend, and then on the second day of the weekend, the ladies would run. And my sisters were always victorious when they won, and so it was our clan that were the winners on the female side most of the time.
You know, Coyote clan girls, they're all fat, so they don't win anything anyway. So we're all looking for food. When we smell food, we go straight to it. So that's the Coyote clan. But before we move on, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break for our paid sponsors. Nurturing Indigenous Intelligence is a grassroots organization based on the Hopi Reservation. They work to alleviate the hardships in the community through acts of giving, from distributing school supplies, volunteering at various places, and working to expand their services. Follow them on Instagram at Nurturing I Squared and on Facebook at NI Squared Team to find out more.
Coenvioma Law, PLLC, is 100% native-owned and operated, founded by Varen Coenvioma. Their practice areas include corporate law, business transactions, finance, economic development, gaming, casino development, online gaming, real estate, environmental permitting and approvals, telecommunications, government affairs, employment and labor relations, historic preservation and cultural resources, and energy. Coenvioma Law is committed to making positive and lasting change in our communities as they support nonprofit volunteering, community activism, and employing Indian preference in hiring and vendor relations.
And we're back. And you know, one of the things that, as far as clans go, one of the things that I always used to think about, because then as kids we're taught as to how a lot of the clans came to Hopi.
Yeah.
In the very beginning of some of these villages out here, so like hundreds to thousands of years ago, we've heard these stories,
The migration stories.
of how these clans got to Oraivi or to Sangopavi or to Walpi. And one of the things that I think about a lot, because then for most Hopis living out here on the reservation, especially when you're talking about clans, that really the beginning of this history starts all the way at the beginning from our emergence from the Grand Canyon. Because Hopis, essentially, that's where we believe that we come from.
Yeah,
that we came from
the first
Grand
world.
Canyon.
Yeah.
And so, and it's kind of an interesting thing because I believe that Hopi is one of the very few American Indian tribes, indigenous tribes to North America that does subscribe to this idea of a mass human migration. Because in our oral history, we believe that when we emerged into this world, that we were instructed by the higher powers that we were all to migrate north, south, east, and west until we got to this place called Dewanasavi,
The heart of the heart.
or
Yeah.
the center of the universe, or the promised land.
Yeah,
I guess,
the heart.
for what most people understand as the promised land.
Yeah.
And that our ancestors were told that they're to make this migration and that they would be guided along the way. And so as our people were making this migration, that they encountered a lot of different things. And it's my belief, and see, this is kind of, a difficult thing to talk about clans because there are so many different interpretations of
Variations of it. Yeah.
different types of variations about these clan stories. But, at least from the information that I've obtained and that the way that I think about it, that this is my personal interpretation, J-Man's interpretation, is that I believe that, when our people were making this big migration throughout the world, that they encountered so many different things. And the things that they encountered, the knowledge that they obtained, that's what developed our clans and what it is that they brought to Hopi. Because, and see, that's another thing too, is that when we think about this migration, that there wasn't really this concept of the Hopi tribe. There wasn't really this concept of the Navajo tribe or the Wallapai tribe, that we were all one people at one point in time, that we were all to come to the same place. And so when the people got to this place at Dewanasavi and they established the main villages, Oraivi, Songopavi, Walpi, that the chiefs of these villages, when clans came to enter the village, they would ask them all the same question: what benefit can you bring to the people? And so some clans brought great ceremonies with them. The Badger clan brought the Bo'omoi ceremony with them. Other clans brought other things. They showed the chief of how they could bring rain, basically, to the villages. And so all of these clans that came in and brought their ceremonies, brought their knowledge, to me, Songyaunen, in a way that our ceremonial cycle represents the knowledge of the world, because that's where our ancestors were when they learned, when they developed, when they absorbed. So to a degree, the world's knowledge is in our villages, at least the way that I think about it myself.
So like one kind of example is that there is a village called Awatovi, and Awatovi was established back in like the when was it, like the 900s, somewhere around there, 900 AD, and they fell into devastation because of what like the conquistadors,
the Catholics.
The Catholics had brought. And one thing is that our clan, the Coyote clan, was part of that village there. And when the destruction of Awatovi was there, we didn't have any place to go. We basically went to Oraivi, which was a very not fully established, but it was still flourishing. So we went there first, and they, kind of rejected us in a way. And then we said that, screw you guys. We're gonna have hookers, and we're gonna have hookers. We're gonna have
strip clubs.
We're gonna have strip clubs in our village, and
forget this Hopi.
Forget this. And then so we established Siketki, Siketki was our village, and then the destruction of Siketki because we gave too much money to a hooker, and pretty much the whole thing, mob hit,
more like you shortchanged.
Yeah,
we short, and she came back with all her buddies.
Like the mob hit.
Collect.
There was like a mob going on. There was like history with mobs and stuff. But that was part of that history there, and we became part. So like my clan, Coyote Clan, is part of like Walpi and Palaka, and then yes, some of us migrated towards what is it called, Kawestima, that's at Navajo Mountain.
Tokotnavi.
Yeah. And so we went there, and then we kind of established ourselves there. We made this huge round circle because nobody wanted us, we had this great idea of like building casinos and, all this stuff. And then
your ancestors probably had the format for sweatpants back in those days.
We were like the traveling salesmen back in the day. It's like, do you guys have issues with your washer and dryer? Well, let me tell you a solution.
Are you tired of your legs getting cold in the wintertime?
So we kind of ended up in like different mesas, and of course, Munkapi is like one of the mesas that we ended up in. Mm-hmm. So if you smell a coyote, rotting coyote, that's just my sisters. They haven't washed their face or their hair in quite some time.
But and I guess that's kind of also what's unique about our clanship too, is the extensive history, the vast extensive history, because that is something that we talked about once upon a time in one of our past podcasts, is that us Hopis out here, that we're not just unknowing neighbors of each other.
Oh yeah,
like you're not just a Mr. Johnson and I'm a Mr. Williams, and we all have our own backstory. It's that our clans have long histories of each other from hundreds of years ago. And sometimes those histories aren't good histories.
Oh, yeah.
That there are stories of rivalries, that there are stories of contention, that there are stories of clans fighting over certain things, fighting over lands, or fighting over other types of resources that kind of shape who we are as Hopi today. And, that's kind of been a big theme of our podcast, is that, us Hopis, that we do like to point out ways to mock each other, that we do like to say things about each other. And so especially when it comes to clanship, that it is something that exists in this day and age, that you hear people will say, oh, we're the real Coyote Clan.
Yeah.
And those people there in that village, they're not legit. There's something wrong with them. That's why they're this way. Or you have other types of stories behind historically why other types of clans are feuding with one another, and it comes out in this day and age. And so it's kind of an interesting concept to when you think about our clanship and what all of that represents, because then like we've mentioned before, that all of our clans served a purpose in the village, because before there were these opportunities for us to get college degrees and to become writers in newspapers, or to work in nonprofit work, or to serve in the healthcare fields, that our clans had distinctive duties. And my clan, for example, from what I learned and from what I was told, that in the village of Oraivi, Biikesngam, were in charge to ensure that all households had food and water available. And so somehow that responsibility fell on my clan. And then your clan, for example, I believe, are the protectors of Hopi villages, that Iisngam are in charge and serve in a warrior role to a degree. And so thank God, Carl, that we're not living in a society where warfare is still a factor, because I hate to see my buddy go off to war and not come back home. So
I'm just fat and easy target. So I'll be like, oh, just go without me, guys. Just go without me. It's gonna be 5 minutes.
And then all these other clans serve some type of different function within the village, even into this day and age too, like with ceremony, that certain clans are in charge of certain things. So if for whatever reason you needed sand in a ceremony, you would send somebody either from the snake clan, sand clan, or lizard clan. And then that's true with all these other types of things, because we all have our own domain, I guess, or charge of a certain domain to where a certain member from a clan is charged to help out in a certain way.
Oh yeah, that is very, very true. And like with the clans and stuff like that, I don't know how many clans there are. I mean, there's a vast amount of clans. You have a lot of animal clans ranging from bird clans to four-legged clans, and then you have plant-like clans from like the tobacco clan to like the reed clan, and then you have like these like oddity clans like the pumpkin clan that is like kind of a sub-clan of different other clans.
Is there like a mustard clan too in like First Mesa?
The mustard
something?
seed clan.
Mustard seed
yeah,
clan?
I think so. I think there is. And you have like what else is there? Like the oddity, like I wouldn't say oddity, but I would say like it's not there's not a lot of them.
One
like
of the smaller populated
like
clans.
the deer clan. There's some that are deer clan.
Deer clan in First Mesa.
Yeah, then there's like the crane clan.
Crane clan, and we can't forget our eagle clan
and the eagle,
relatives,
yeah,
our
my gas out
fathers,
there. Yeah.
out there.
So like, there's a lot of them. Like there was one that's called Joshnyam, like, that little bird, the little blue bird clan. There's not a lot of them. There's maybe like 3 living in Hotvela right now, and I think there's like 1 living in Songopavi, and then that's about it.
And I guess, that's kind of a good point to bring up too, because like that, the way that a clan grows, the most important resource to have is women.
Oh yeah.
Because the more women you have, the more assurances that your clan will be able to continue into the future, because then for some reason clans go extinct. And
yes.
Like you said before, that there are some clans out there that are in danger of becoming extinct. And that's another thing too, as far as clanship goes, that I used to think about, and how juxtaposed that is to Western society, because Western society is very much a patrilineal society.
Oh yeah.
To where you carry your father's last name. And in order for a family to grow, it's the opposite, to where you need males. Males help the family grow, because then you would carry whatever the father's last name is.
Yeah.
And so my wife and I were in this big Yellowstone kick right now, and so like the Duttons would need more males to keep that clan,
lineage alive.
Keep the lineage
Yeah.
going. But in Hopi, it's quite the opposite, with us being a matrilineal society, that women hold that power and carrying the clan. And one of the things that I don't think that we've ever really talked about a whole lot is this concept of having a Hopi name. Because then, having a Hopi name, how you get a Hopi name, also deals with this idea of clans, because all of us are named after a clan.
Yeah.
But we're not named after our own clan. As children, we're named after our father's clan. And then as we get older and start joining the adult societies, we constantly get new names, and we're named after our godparents' clan.
Yeah.
And so I always used to think that, because when you meet somebody for the first time, it's custom that you introduce yourself, and part of the introduction is you share what clan you are.
Yeah.
But because we don't share what our father's clan is, we always only say what our own clan is. You always hear, no big, yes, I'm of Corn clan, but you never say, my father's clan is this.
Yeah.
But I've always felt that the way that you introduce what your father's clan is when you tell them what your own Hopi name is. Because then, like for me, my baby name was Sitapka, or Sita for short.
Yeah.
And then so when somebody hears that Sitapka, they know that Sita is something that's related to the snake clan.
Yeah.
And so when they hear that, then it's already developing in their head that's related to the snake clan. More than likely his father belongs to the snake clan.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is very, very true. Because we are a very strong matrilineal society that we just kind of forget our fathers, and then later on we try to find our fathers to
when they're done with their
when it's tax season, then we try to find our fathers and say, hey, where's my money at? but again, it is like, it's weird in the dating world too, because you don't know who your relative is, and you just kind of know who your sub-relatives are.
Side note, I wanted to do this as a topic, but the Res Famous, so I thought it would be too disrespectful. But I wanted to have a podcast episode where it was all our fathers were alcoholics.
Pretty much, that's probably true. There was a joke. I'll tell the joke here. It was like It was over here at the Gekotsumovi village store. And then this one girl, she was working and her kid came in. And so he was finding his mom, and he's like so he goes up to her mom and he's like, Mom, can you please tell me who my real dad is? Because I'm hungry right now, so he can give me money. So everybody laughed and everyone was all like, oh my God, because we don't know our fathers pretty much. So that was like the joke.
I know I'm supposed to be nice to you because it's a Carl appreciation, but you, like I was calling you Kwa in the last episode, you actually told this joke before in one of the previous episodes.
Oh, okay. Well, easily forgotten.
But I guess, talking about with the little bit of time that we have left, kind of talking about the contemporary times, because, growing up now, being 80s babies, living a lot of our childhood in the 90s and then transgressing as adults into the 2000s, is that do our clans hold as much weight as they did before? And I would say that they probably don't.
Yeah,
because I'm not going knocking on every single village member's door and making sure, hey, do you guys got enough eggs? You guys got enough milk to last the winter? And so, at some point in time, and unfortunately, that is the theme of a lot of the transgressions of how our culture has gone, is that colonization, that assimilation. A lot of that has changed how we carry ourselves, because now we don't fulfill what our clan's duties are in our village to the degree that they used to a long time ago. And so when you think about all of the different villages, and it probably differs because, in some villages, it's probably bare minimum, if that. But then in maybe some of the other villages to where people are still upholding what their clanship duties were to some degree. Would you say?
I would say that, there are some clans that still do the ceremonial wise, and there are still clans that still do kind of honor their given right to do certain things. And because us Coyote clans, we're all fat and we like to make babies pretty much. Like all my sisters out there like to make babies for some reason, and they don't contribute to the whole society. They're just, making a ruckus and everything like that. But all of there are certain clans that still kind of hold true to what they were in the past.
My sisters are similar in that they're better on their backs. That's why they're so much big. That's why people like me were skinny, because none of them know how to cook. So.
All right. Well, it is very timed. It's almost time for us to go. So,
and I guess, just to kind of end the conversation, there were some other things too that we had talked about prior to recording, and kind of some of the things that I kind of wanted to bring up. And, it's not really me kind of criticizing or bashing, but it is a concept that I've thought of, because it's not something that existed out in my village growing up, is that, this idea of, for some reason, that when certain people introduce themselves, they introduce themselves as two clans. And, this was kind of aligns with this concept of us having clans that are related, but they're not really the same clan.
Oh, yeah.
So how come some people are Kachina and Parrot clan? How come some people are, I'm trying to think of what other clan do people introduce themselves as being two clans.
Oh, the rabbit and tobacco
clan. That's another one.
Yeah.
And so, I always used to kind of wonder, so which are you? Are you Parrot or are you Kachina clan? And then how come it's like that? I always wondered.
The Kachina clan, they kind of, I guess they messed up their duties in a way. So they became Crow clan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So a lot of them at Hodvela are Crow clan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It is very interesting.
Because that was kind of something that I always wondered too. And then I always wondered too, about, because we've talked about this concept before, and you kind of mentioned it a little, and we talked a whole lot about it too in some of our romance episodes about this idea of navigating clans. And that was always kind of the big benefit of the clan races growing up as kids, is that you knew exactly who was who and who you needed to stay away from. But then, when you're intermingling with other tribes that also have clanship system, that sometimes some of them have clans that sound like ours.
Oh, yeah.
Like there are Pueblo clans that have Bear Clan, or they have like a Squash Clan, or like a Turquoise Clan. And then, from what I've understood is that even though they're not the same tribe as us, that we would still consider them relatives. And so if you're in that situation to where you met a girl from a different tribe, but they were the same clan as you, would you still pursue it, or would you ask first?
Probably not. I would say there's probably like a deep lineage to there, and like
so. I met this Navajo girl, and she's Bitter Water Coyote Clan.
But all in all, I mean, like the clanships are very, very. They have their own stories. They have their own clan migration stories. And if you don't know your clan migration stories, talk to your soul, talk to your guys, because everyone is a little different. But all the same is that we all come to the Hopi tribe here, and we became as one.
If I could share the story real quick before we go, it's that I was out and about one time in the world at a conference, and I met this Navajo lady. This older Navajo lady, and we started to talk, and of course, all the old Navajo people you meet, they think you're Navajo at first when they first meet you, and no, I'm Hopi, and she was like, oh, okay, and then she started to tell me this story about her and her husband. She said that my husband has this clan, and it sounded similar to like a Bluebird clan or something, and she said that my clan is this other clan, but it also sounded like a Bluebird clan too as well. And she was saying that a lot of people, they criticize us because they think that we're related, because both our clans have this Bluebird component to it. But then I always tell people, no, we're not related. We're different clans. And she told me the story of how her clan came into existence, is that there was a Navajo clan, a family that was kind of living somewhat close to some of our villages. Mm-hmm. And that during drought, that, you hear all these stories about during the Great Drought that a lot of Hopi families would leave the village, and that they would either try to go to the pueblos or go someplace to where that they could live and escape the drought. And she said that this Hopi family came, and that's what they were evading. They were evading drought. And this Hopi family that came, they were Bluebird clan. And she said that they came to the Navajo family, and the Navajo family took them in and let them stay with them for a while until they could build up their strength and go. And when the Hopi family left, they left their baby with the Navajo family and said that we want to have you raise our child as payment for taking care of us.
Yeah.
And so when this Hopi family left, they raised this child as a Bluebird, but also in addition to whatever this Navajo clan was. So in a way, the clans
integration,
the clans emerged from a Hopi clan and a Navajo clan, and then this branch of Bluebird within the Navajo clan was developed. And so this woman was telling me this heritage of how that clan was created from the merging of two different tribes. And so that was like a real interesting story.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. All right. Well, it's at that time, and, I want to get out of here because I'm hungry.
I got to take a piss.
And so I'm hungry. I want to go to lunch. And so, it's something that these clanships still revolve around, and we do have strong ties to our clanships. And so, on Facebook, on Instagram, go ahead and shout out your clan. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of where you come from.
And to all the young Beakisngam out there, be proud of our clan, because even though we're not menacing like a badger or a coyote, that, we do serve a very important purpose in this world.
All right. Well, thank you again. And if you guys want to donate something, go to anchor.fm/CJ Podcast 85 to donate, become our monthly sponsor. Or if you want to do our sponsored podcast, just go email us at cjpodcast85@gmail.com.
And if you are not following us on our social media accounts, you can find us at Carl and J-Man all across the boards. And if I could send out a plea, please visit our Instagram page. We're a few followers from hitting up into the next tier of 100 level of whatever. And so, just trying to grow our fan base through our social medias. If you're listening to this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, please give us that 5-star review. That really helps us out. And don't forget to listen to us on Spotify afterwards if you're listening to this on either Apple or YouTube.
All right. Well, thank you again for listening to Carl and J-Man Save the World podcast. My name is Carl, and this is my best friend, James.
So long.